Hello and welcome to today's video. This is officially my March TBR video. So yeah, let's just get into it. For my March TBR, like many other months, we are playing my Snakes and Ladders TBR game. The very basics of it is I have a 8-sided die, I roll it 6 times. Every time I roll, I move around the board and each colour square is correlated to a type of prompt based on what colour square I land on. So for instance, if I land on green, that's an other card, so I pick a card from the other pile and that is my prompt I need to fulfill. And I do that 6 times. If I land on a ladder, I get to minus a roll and move up the ladder. If I land on a snake, I have to add a roll and move down the snake. There are a few other rules and a few other little bits and pieces, but I will link my January TBR video up above where I go over the rules in detail, so if you want to know about it further you can watch that one up there. But for now, that's pretty much it, so let's get into it. First of all, I have to admit I did not finish my TBR in February. I mean, as I'm filming this it's the 21st, so I still do have 8 days, but I have only read half the books, and I've read a lot of books this month, just not the ones that are on my TBR, so I'm pretty confident I'm not going to be able to finish it. I think I have 3 books left from my February TBR. If I really push myself, I think I might be able to finish 2 of them. I don't think I'm going to manage to finish all 3. So I am picking a punishment prompt from the jar. So let's skip to that first and see what we got. Okay, first things first, I need to pick a punishment prompt out of the little jar. I have left all of the prompts in, but essentially the grey are punishment and the purple are reward. So I'm just going to pick one out, and if it's grey I'll open it up, if it's purple I'll put it back in. So let's pick one out. Okay, great, let's move that to the side and open it up. Fuck's sake. Every book must be 400 plus pages. Okay. 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 Yep. Okay. Yep, sure. Cool, great, dandy. So as you'll have just seen, we've got every book must be 400 plus pages. Yeah. I did initially think that I might maybe be able to get some graphic novels on, but no, my longest graphic novel was like under 400 pages. So yeah, this definitely is punishment prompt worthy, but it's not undoable. It's not undoable, and that is the point. Like, these are going to stretch me, these are going to make me like really have to think about my reading and make sure I am reading my TBR, but it's still a realistic TBR for me to complete within the month. So yeah, every book that is on my March TBR will need to be over 400 pages. So I think it's time to just get into the rolls. Let's go to roll number 1. So starting off on square 54, which is where we left off the end of February, let's roll the dice and do our first of 6 rolls. That is a 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, needed that. So -1, so we're only doing 5 rolls, and we landed on yellow, which is type, and the type prompt is a reread. Okay, there is one book I definitely want to reread. Don't know if it'll work with the punishment prompt, but I'll figure that out. Okay, so our first roll was a typed card, and the type was reread. I thought this was going to be great. I do need to reread a book this month. Me and Jay run a little book club, and this year we're doing quarterly books, and for the first quarter of the year the book that we're reading is Gracing, which is a book I've read before, but I went downstairs and checked how many pages it was, and it was 370. So unfortunately, due to our punishment prompt, could not pick the book I need to get on my TBR for this, so that'll just have to be an additional one. But I looked through my shelves and there's a reread I've been wanting to do for a while. I just didn't think I'd be able to for a couple more months, but I guess I'm just going to push starting it, and that is Lady of Darkness. This is book 1 in the Lady of Darkness series. This is my favourite series of 2023, and I read it all on my Kindle, and I now have my own physical copies, and I really want to reread this and go through it and like make notes and annotate it, especially because all of the books that this author writes, they're in the same universe, so like, they're not necessarily connected, but they have the same like general rules. Like if there is a type of magic in one world, there's going to be a type of magic in the other, sort of thing. So I definitely want to like make sure I have all of the information from this series. So yeah, I've put the first one on the TBR. Honestly, I feel like I've spoken about this loads and loads. I guess the very basics of it, if you've never heard me talk about it before, is in the first book we are following Scarlet, who is kind of playing her days away, acting as a noble lady, but she's not really a noble lady. She's actually an assassin, and she's actually one of the top 3 assassins from the assassin guild in that area. And partway through her doing this noble lady stuff, which we know she's doing to escape from something, but at the start of the book we don't really know why exactly. It's just some sort of escape. She comes across a man who is working for the king. He is part of like this special unit of the king's army. He like commands them, and she asks him to train her, and he has no idea that this is not a noble lady. And yet we pretty much go from there. On the back it does say like she is given an assignment to complete, and you know, she's looking to get revenge over the Fae Fire Prince who brutally killed her mother. And basically what brings her back to like being willing to like go back to this more assassin lifestyle is there are children being taken from an area that she, you know, as an assassin protects, and children are going missing. So she's willing to go and like investigate and try to figure out what's going on. And that's how we start out book 1, and this series just expands and expands and expands, and it's great. It's absolutely great. I love it, and I can't wait to reread it. So very happy about this one. Okay, roll number 2 is a 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's another type. Okay, another type prompt. Prompt for roll number 2 is to finish a series. This is actually perfect. This is, yeah, great, perfect. Can definitely do this one. Then roll number 2, we got another type prompt, and the type was finish a series. So this is nice and easy. There's actually a lot of series that I'm planning to finish. I actually think every book that I've put on the rest of this TBR is the end of a series, but the one that I've officially picked for this prompt is The Last Devil to Die. This is the last book out in the Thursday Murder Club series. I do believe that there will be more books out in the future, but not for a few years. Richard Osman is starting another book series which is coming out this year and I think next year, so we might get more books in this series in the future, but for now this is the last one. And yeah, this is the 4th book in the Thursday Murder Club series, which is set in an elderly retirement village, and we follow 4 main characters who meet every Thursday in the jigsaw room to go over cold cases that they've managed to get their hands on. They're going over cold cases, trying to solve them, and then one day a murder happens on their doorstep, and these 4 elderly people who are just so lovely and you just like love them so much weasel their way into the investigation, into like helping the police and want to solve the murder. And yeah, each book expands. It's just great. It's absolutely great. It's so much fun. It's very British. It's very British humour. And yeah, honestly, it's just great. I could not recommend it more, and I can't wait to read book 4. However, everyone I'm aware of who's read book 4, either on the internet or in person, has sobbed over it. So I'm a little scared, but yeah, still very, very excited. Roll number 3. Let's give it a roll. Is another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is green, which is other, and the other prompt. Oh, I picked 2 up. Okay, let's just put it down. Leave the one on the top. Even number of pages. Okay, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Then prompt number 3, we picked other, and the other is even number of pages. So for this one, I'm picking Foul Heart Huntsman, and if I go to the very back of this book without spoiling myself, let's just squint. Okay, the final page before the author's note is page 544, which 4 is an even number, so yeah, all fits the prompt. I'm very excited about this. This is the final book in Chloe Gong's Shanghai series, and it's also the final book in the Foul Lady Fortune duology. I don't even know how to describe this, to be quite honest. There is a duology called the These Violent Delights duology, and that is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in Shanghai. And this, I guess the best way to describe it is like a spin-off duology from that. So it's characters we've met before mostly, but characters that were like side characters in that first duology and are now the main characters in this. And this is very much more like investigating things that are corrupt in the area. It's much more like spy. It's very fun, very good. I don't want to say anything, to be honest, because of the risk of spoiling things. Like, even telling you the characters' names that are in this series, I feel like could spoil who dies and doesn't die in the first series. So I'm just gonna leave it as that, but it's really fun. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the few books that I'm like so excited about that I decided to just like buy in hardback. I'm not normally a hardback person, but these, when they come out, I've brought them. And this is the only one that I haven't read on release week because I'm scared it's all going to end and I've got a feeling it's not going to be pretty. So yeah, I will eventually be getting around to this one. Okay, roll number 4 is a 1. So 1 up to the purple. Purple is visual, so we're picking a visual prompt. Map. We can definitely find a book with a map. Okay, and then roll number 4, which ends up being our penultimate roll, is a visual prompt, and the visual is map. So this just means somewhere within the book there is a map. For this one, I've picked Kingdom of the Feared, and if I just go, there we go, there is this map right at the front, and this is the 7 circles map. So that's what it's showing, that's the map, and this is what I'm using for it. This is the 3rd and final book in the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. There is now, I think, a spin-off series, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to continue on with it. I think I'm just going to leave it as the original trilogy. But I do think there's more that you can read if you want to. And I'm pretty sure I've seen online that you don't have to have read the original trilogy to read that other like spin-off series either. But yeah, this is the 3rd and final book in that series. In book 1, we meet our main character, who is basically doing everything she can to avenge her sister's death, including summoning whoever she may need to summon. Summoning a demon maybe, and just getting help. And it's very fun. Like, book 1 was really fun, and it really centers around food a lot as well. Like, there is a lot of cooking. The main character's family owns this like restaurant, and it made me hungry reading book 1. And I picked up book 2 last year and I enjoyed it as well. It was still really good. I'd say this is quite a slow paced series. I would say in book 2 we kind of get a new, not completely new, but like an additional little mystery to start solving from book 1. And I'm intrigued to see how we wrap things up in this 3rd and final book. So yeah, that's that really. Oh, and there's like a little romance-y. But it started out as a subplot in book 1, but I feel like the romance is quite a big part of the story now by the time we get to this book. Okay, and then our final roll, as long as we avoid this snake here, so we want anything but a 2 for our final roll. And that's a 7, I think. Yeah, a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another type, so don't know what we're going to end up with, but another type, and the type is multiple point of view. Okay, cool. Perfect. And that was our final roll. Okay, and then our 5th and final roll, we got another type, which is 3 type prompts this month, which I'm quite surprised about. But the type prompt was multiple point of view, and I'm doing it. I'm eventually going to finish the Caraval series. This is the final book in it, called Finale, very aptly named, and I'm really excited about it. I did have to check that this was multiple point of view. Both books 1 and book 2 were single point of views, but there are different point of views. And at the end of both book 1 and book 2, there were like things left open that it felt like still needed exploring. I was like, for this to be the final book, surely we've got to do dual perspective. And I did flick through, and there are multiple perspectives, well, at least 2 perspectives, which counts for multiple POV. And I'm very excited for this. I'm excited to wrap it up. I'm excited to go back into this world. I really love this world. It's very fun. It's very like silly and a bit like camp, I guess I'd say. It's just really good time. So yeah, I'm very excited to finish this one and find out what's going to happen to these characters. If you've never read Caraval, the first book is about this like magical event that happens called Caraval. and our main character has always wanted to go, and through a series of maybe unfortunate events is there, and she has to win that year because the prize for winning is actually her sister. So she has to win to save her sister from this event, and it's so fun, it's so good. I had such a good time with it, and I preferred book 2, which is quite shocking because I wasn't expecting to, but yeah, like book 2, it was very different, but it really expanded and we saw more, and it was like from a different person's perspective that we hadn't seen from before, and there were more questions answered, and overall it was just a hell of a lot of fun. So I can't wait to conclude everything in this book, and there's definitely some things that I'm hoping are going to happen, so we'll see if they do. And those are all of the books that are on the official TBR for March. These are the 5 books that I'm going to be definitely getting to. I don't want to have to do another punishment prompt. I want to get a reward prompt next month, so yeah, I have to fulfill these. I will fulfill these. I'm very excited about all of them, so I'm really hoping that will work. I do also need to read Graceling during March for our book club, so I'll fit that in somehow. And I don't think that any of the books chosen on the official TBR fit the buzzword prompt, which is name. However, there's quite a large pile of books here that are like ones I would have liked to get to, but all of these are quite small, so couldn't fit them on this TBR for being over 400 pages, but hopefully I'll be able to get to a few of these. For instance, even just picking up Nimona, which is a short graphic novel, that would fulfill the name. I'm pretty sure Wind is the name of the main character, Binti is the name of the main character. I'm assuming the garlic isn't called Garlic, but I don't know, but Garlic could be the name of the main character here. So yeah, there's a few to pick from that we'll hopefully also be able to get to that will fulfill the buzzword reading prompt for the month. And yeah, I think that's everything. I think that is everything I need to tell you about. To my knowledge, there is nothing in particular going on in March. There's no readathons or anything that I'm aware of that I'm partaking in. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get some fun videos out, make a few fun videos to do, and I'll see you throughout March. I do upload every Wednesday and Saturday, so do subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this. Do give the video a like if you liked it, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!